Welcome back to UNRL Season 8, Round 16 at Japan. Here we are, 5 red lights, and away we go. Good launch there from the leaders. Brilliant launch for the Haas. They're almost 3 wide going into turn 1, but they managed to avoid that. No major incidents to report. There seems to be a bit of a gap forming already at the back there between the Mercs and the one Red Bull and the Ferraris. Everybody else seems to be single file though now through the S's of the lap here. Everyone's just going to try and, I suppose, settle down and focus on their rhythm and their pace to not lose time, unnecessary time for the cars in front as we jump on board here with UNRL Celtic Speed, who seems to be losing a bit of ground there to the Racing Point. I mean, it's not really a surprise that Racing Point is an absolute weapon in a straight line between 200R and Spoon here. As we exit Spoon. I'm guessing here you're just going to see the Racing Point pull away by an absolute country mile. Let's put away slowly. Coming into the final chicane. As Daisy there seems to have gone deep, he's made a mistake. And there you go. He's lost 2 positions because of that. And funny enough, it gives his teammate a run on the Haas here. Going down into turn 1. Will he get it done cleanly? And yes, he will. Sets the car up perfectly on the brakes on the inside line there and keeps ahead of that Haas. Moves into P3 as we focus here on the Alphas and then slowly go back through the grid to focus on Davey there in the Mercedes as he has Daisy right behind him. As we go across this curve, and there's the McLaren there of St. Westy in the wall, so that's not good for him. That's definitely damaged his race, along with potentially his front wing, which is unfortunate in the very early stages of this race. Sector 1 and 2, there's a yellow flag. As Davey goes completely off the track there, and Daisy just goes at the inside and pulls away from him by miles on the exit. I believe that yellow flag in Sector 1 was down to Alan Fubar there. As you can see, he's the second Ferrari on the hard tyres. He seems to be quite a ways back. He must have had some sort of self-induced incident, as he has now left the session. And yes, so he's called it quits for today. The dirt kicked up there between the Racing Point and the Haas. He's gone a bit deep, and that's compromised his exit as UNRL Celtic Speed sets the fastest lap of the race so far. And here we see the Haas there just trying to position himself for a potential move to turn 1. They get really close, but nothing doing there. He's going to settle for another lap behind the Racing Point, so it seems. All the while that they're battling, although the battling is good, they are losing quite a bit of time to the car in front of UNRL Celtic Speed and Shrimper, the 2 Alphas up in the lead, as they come through Degna 1 and into Degna 2 and go about the rest of the lap. If they continue battling though, they will bring a fatal defiance there. As you can see, he's the 3rd car in that shot on in the Red Bull on the medium tyre. As obviously natural as physics would suggest, the soft tyre will die out before the harder tyre, and he should gain positions through that alone. As we focused on Davey now coming into Spoon, his race is incredibly low despite only having 3 laps of the race so far, so I don't really know what's going on there. He might become easy pickings for the Ferrari down this back straight through 130R. We'll have to wait and see, as Brett in comparison there, as you can see, has almost a full bar of his ERS compared to Davies like 3 or 4%. Celtic Speed again sets the fastest lap of the race. followed by Davey going deep in the final corner and cutting the astroturf there and getting a 5-second penalty just to add insult to injury through there. As we focus back on the Alphas up front, who seem to have pulled a massive gap so far on the next car of Fuse. As you can see him there in the background of that shot. Both of these Alphas seem to be in a class of their own at the moment, though the battling from the cars behind is helping them along a little bit. And so here we come again through Degner 2, under the bridge, and into the hairpin. Exit through all round 200R here into Spoon. And seems to be falling away a bit on this lap to the racing point as it closes up massively though in the braking zone and in the entry phase to Spoon. He's probably going to try and look to catch him enough on the brakes to get DRS down the start finish straight. As we cycle back through the grid. And see the ghost car there of Alan Fubar. Which is unfortunate that he has left at such an early stage of the race. Both Alphas sticking between 3 to 5 tenths away from each other, as they have done since the start of the race. Just pulling away from the cars behind every lap. As we focus on the Haas of Mike V Legend closing in quite considerably on the racing point as he gets the run of dreams coming through here. Will he challenge it to Degner 1? That's incredibly dangerous. Nope. But Fuse has dipped Will in the gravel and he's got a bit wide. He's collected it up and he's lost the rear again. Will that give Mike V Legend a chance to get past on the hairpin? I don't think it will. But as you can see there, Mike V Legend in the house did 90 degree the corner quite well and got, you'd expect a decent exit, but he seems to have lost about a car length there to the racing point on the exit. As we can see, the Red Bull of Fatal Defiance is coming under pressure from Daisy here in the racing point, who is on a charge to get those positions back that he lost. He's got a bit wide there in Spoon, on the exit Spoon, so that's kind of ruined the run that he had on him previously. But as you can see, that's not really dampened his straight line speed any. He's catching that Red Bull quite easily down the straight, which is very surprising indeed. By assuming that he had a decent run and straight line speed coming through 130R, you'd expect him to easily breeze past the Red Bull, which he is doing. He's gaining. DRS wide open, just flies past the Red Bull. Gets it stopped perfectly going into turn 1, and there you go. He is getting back another position as we missed the overtake there between Mike V Legend and Fuse, as Fuse has dipped a wheel into the grass and into the gravel, and around he went. And he's lost a chunk of positions now. And he's lost it again, and Bob goes into the back of him there. Bob really didn't have anywhere to go there. Probably didn't expect the race point to lose the rear the way that he did. And that's both cars there. Fuse into the wall and lost a bit of his wing. And Bob clipping the rear of that racing point and losing his left front end plate as well. So that's damaged both of their races. Fuse more so, as he had a spin before that second spin, which is just unfortunate there on lap 6 out of 27, very early on in the race, as we focus on board with IRL Celtic speed. So staying within touching distance of his teammate there in the lead, getting DRS. As you can see, the gap is about 5 tenths. It's going to be practically non-existent by the time we get to turn 1, just how powerful the slipstream and DRS is there. You see he gained about 4 tenths there going into turn 1. And he may lose time here because of the dirty air, but he seems to be managing that quite well, really well actually. And taking alternative lines to try and some sort of clean air going across his front wing. It seems to have pushed a bit wide there, and as you can see from that delta there, he lost about 2/10 going through that one corner alone, which obviously isn't good. Dirty air is never good for any car, really, unless you've designed your car obviously to work that way. As we focus here on Daisy, and then back up front to the Alphas, who again have about a half a second gap between each other. And they seem to be just holding it around there throughout the duration of the lap, or at least the entire lap. Through 130R again into the final quarter. If you get a good run through here and avoid the death bump just there, he might be able, UNRL Celtic Speed, to get a good run. Good enough run to challenge into turn 1. As he's gaining. Will he send it up the inside? Yes, he does. He sends it up the inside. Will they touch? Yes, they do. Just a little bit. Quite a nudge. 2 small nudges there. But they luckily don't get any damage, and they don't really lose that much time away in the process of doing that. Though, as you can see there, that move did put both of them offline just a bit through the first sector, so they had to take alternative lines to the lines that they probably would have wanted to take, at least through 2 of those corners. A bit of dirt there kicked up by Shrimper in Degner 1. Pulling up to the hairpin. He's going to go for the move. UNRL Celtic Speed. He sticks his nose in there, but that was never really on. The gap there was always going to close. Yeah, you're going to have to be a lot further alongside. You'll have a much more forgiving teammate to let you pass there. Into Spoon, curve we go. Exit of Spoon. Down the back straight once again. Through 130R. Into the final chicane. Really get a good enough run this time to pull off the move. He's a bit far back, but we do know how powerful the DRS is down this straight. As we pull away to go on board with Daisy instead, who does a 34.2 on that lap. I believe he gained about 7/10 on the 2 Alphas ahead of him. Due to their battling on that previous lap, they want to put an end to that, because they obviously don't want to be doing that lap after that, allowing the Racing Point to gain on them and threaten them this early on in the race. Though again, you don't want to really be threatened by anyone at any point of the race. As we focus on Mike V Legend here, chasing down Bob. Fresh medium tyres, and you can see that Mercedes is still missing that front end plate, so the Haas would want to spend as least amount of time behind him as possible, but he's probably going to be held up there for quite a while, so it seems. There's not really much places to pass here other than like the hairpin and maybe after Spoon through 130R into the final chicane and then into turn 1. You can pull off moves anywhere else. You can do it, but you have to have a driver that you can trust to do it. And, as we focus back on board with the Alphas here, nothing doing there. UNRL Celtic Speed decides to pit. Right, so that means that this outlap, or this in-lap for Shrimper is going to be absolutely crucial, along with the pit stop and the outlap for his teammate UNRL Celtic Speed. He's going to need both really solid an outlap, a pit stop and an outlap to gain any time or potentially jump his teammate who has stayed out for that extra lap. He did seem to be struggling on his softs a bit more than his teammate. As we see here, Mike V Legend getting past Bob Alon eventually on DRS into zone 1. Is he going to hold it there? Yes. Kicks it down in the braking zone. stops it nicely in turn 1, and you would assume that off he goes. He would pull away quite handsomely from that Mercedes, as the Mercedes has a broken wing still, as we see yellows in sector 1 and 2, and that's Fatal Defiance. He has spun off there, had an incident there in Degna 2, just under the bridge there, as he has lost a position to Brett there, and I believe UNRL Celtic Speed was already ahead of him, so I don't think that lost him a place to him necessarily. As we see UNRL Celtic Speed again, clearly pushing on his outlap here on the medium tyres. We won't know if it's done him any good until the end of this lap, whenever his teammate decides to come in, or whenever. Well, there you go. Shrimper now in the pit lane. Let's see what his stop is like. He goes onto the medium tyres, same as his teammate. Green light, go, go, go. No, okay. Well, he did get going eventually, but it did seem that he was there for quite a while on the exit there, on the release for the lights, as Fatal Defiance comes into the pit lane and misjudges the entry speed there. Gets a 5-second time penalty, which is unfortunate. He'd already had a spin and needed to recover from that, as Dacey pits and gets jumped by Mike V Legend. So good gains there for the Haas, despite being held up for a lap behind the Mercedes of Bob with that broken wing. Back on board with the UNRL Celtic Speed. As you can see, that he did jump. He did manage to jump Shrimper, his teammate, with the undercut. So guessing those softs just really didn't hold up, and the mediums were just that much faster on the second Alfa Romeo there, as they both slot in behind the Ferrari of Brett, who did start on those hard tyres, so you would believe he would be pitting in a couple laps time, just to make sure he balances out the stint for his next set of tyres. And as Dacey clips the daft curb in Spoon on the exit there, and loses the rear end, he catches it though, and doesn't fly off to Narnia, so he should be good to catch the cars back up again that he's lost time to, inevitably, with that spin there. Fatal Defiance did come back out onto those hard tyres, so he's just going to try and chug it along to the end, I suppose. Back on board with the Alphas here, going through sector 1. They're going to try and, I guess, close the gap to that Ferrari as quick as possible and get past him, as they don't want to lose any time to the cars behind. Brett is probably going to try and stretch out his stint on these hards, just to make sure that whatever tyre he goes into next definitely makes the end of the race. And here we go. Shrimper seems to be going for a move. Don't know where he was going with that. That was way too far back. And they do seem to nudge there, but I don't think they have any damage from that, either of them, which is good. But yeah, that was way too far back to be trying to move there. Can't really pull a move like that off and expect Celtic Speed to just open up his steering and let you go through. He'd already committed to the corner there, so that was definitely way too late. Luckily, they both didn't lose too much time from that, and they didn't get damaged, so no harm done there. As we come through 130R, both Alphas, despite that, are still really close to that Ferrari out in front. As Shrimper loses the rear end there and has to go across the corner there, and definitely lost some time from doing so, as he gets DRS from the Ghost car, and probably would have got DRS anyway from his teammate ahead of him. As we focus back on Mike V Legend going across the start-finish line, as Dacey sets the fastest lap of a 33.4, I believe is what that says, and seems to have the pace then over the Haas in front of him. He's going to want to catch that Haas and pass him without losing any more time than he's already lost during his stint. you see, he has saved quite a bit of his ERS there compared to Whitefield Legend. Hairpin. Will Dacey have a look down the inside? Nope. He's going to try and square off the corner, it seems to try and get a good exit, but nothing really doing there. He probably will gain with that Mercedes engine and the low drag naturally of the build of the racing point. As it goes to the spoons, we have a yellow flag in sector 1. I don't know who that was. It was either Fatal Defiance there in the Red Bull who we saw clipping the gravel, or it was oh no, it might have been Fuse here. Yep, definitely Fuse struggling on those hard tyres in the second racing point, as both Alphas seem to have closed the gap massively on Brett in the lead there. So it must have been a bad lap there from Brett, as Strimple sets the fastest lap of the race. Couldn't quite read what that was, as IRL Celtic Speed is right behind the Ferrari here. Is he going to go for a British move round the outside? Yes, he is. As Brett loses the rear end there just a little bit, and he's gone wide in the next corner, and in the grass, and he's lost it again almost. And Shrimper goes around the outside there, and carries on as if nothing really happened. And that is 2 positions and 2 corners lost pretty much for Brett there in the Ferrari out in the. He was in the lead. As we follow Dacey and Whitefield Legend through Degner 2. Dacey a lot closer this time through Degner 2. Maybe he will go for a move for this time into the hairpin. No, he does go deep on the brakes, but he's going to 90-degree the corner again and try and get a good drive out, which he doesn't seem to have done. He seems to have had a bit of a wiggle there, and Whitefield Legend pulled away by a car. We have another yellow flag in sector 1. Don't know who it was this time, as we didn't catch it at the right point, and there's no clear evidence of who it really was. Back on board, or back on focus with the second Alpha there of Shrimper 84, and coming out of the last corner, and still keeping in touch with his teammate despite his really low ERS there, as you can see, down 3%. Which is obviously going to shoot up once we get to turn 1 because of the heavy braking into there. As Dacey lines up the Haas for a move into turn 1, and yes, he gets it done. Gets it stopped on the brakes perfectly, and you would assume, due to his pace on prior laps where he had enough clear air between him and the Haas to set a lap, that he will now start to pull away from that Haas there throughout the rest of his stint. His aim will be to close down that Ferrari so that when that Ferrari pits, he is just far enough ahead to where the fresh tyres on that Ferrari will not allow the Ferrari to threaten the racing point into the later stages of the race. As you can see there, Dacey has pulled away from the Haas by about 3 car lengths since he overtook him a few corners back. Moving back onto Shrimper, who is just about keeping the slipstream to his teammate there in the lead. Still really struggling with VRS though, so his management isn't going really well for whatever reason. Maybe he's having to use more to keep the gap down. I'm not too sure, but he got an absolute drive off of that last corner as it fluctuates between a second down to 4/10 for whatever reason. But as we all know, the DRS is really powerful around this track, and drags him back up to his teammate. And as we can see here, Dacey is trying his best to chase them down. A bit of lag there, so it seems. Bobble on in 6th, Davey in 7th, Fatal Defiance in 8th, St. Westy in 9th, and Fuse Demon in 10th, with the ghost car of Alan Fubar still travelling around in the race. Sync Westy 13 laps on those soft tyres. He is clearly a mentalist, considering how long the leaders stayed out on their softs, and how quickly they got rid of them because they just didn't last. So either Sync Westy has a setup that saves tyres like an absolute god, or he is extremely lucky on those softs at the moment, despite the fact that he is still losing time to the cars around him, unfortunately. Back on board with the Alphas out front, and you can see that over this lap, Shrimper has kept the gap at around 5/10 to his teammate, which will help him significantly in his pursuit to stay with his teammate despite his low ERS. As you can see there, Celtic speed set at 33.8 on that lap, and Daisy sent at 33.6. So he is gaining on those two Alphas. I mean, it's not really enough to cause it any concern for the Alphas out in front, as Mike V Legend pits again, which is very odd, and Bobilon pits, which this will promote Davey up to 5th, which is brilliant for him, which means all he has to do really from here to the end is keep his pace up and avoid any incidents, and he will be on for a very solid finish. As you see Daisy there going quite wide on Degner too. And, but anyway, getting back to the Mike V Legend pit stop, it was a bit weird that he pitted again because of his he should have been on a mature one-stop strategy. But I guess that he must have been just chewing through his tyres a bit quicker than he expected. Bobbleland's come back out on his fresh softs, hunting down the racing point there of Fused Demon on the hard tyres, as we have a yellow flag in sector 2. Don't know who that was. It might have been, yes, it was Mike V Legend, as you can see on the right hand side of his end plate there on the front wing. He is gone. He has gone off and collided with the wall and lost his end plate there, which is unfortunate, as he had just pitted for fresh tyres, and he would have been on for an absolute monstrous stint on those tyres. And as you can see there, he slows right down to not impede the drivers behind, focusing back on board with Daisy, which is a 34 flat this time around. And whilst we were looking at all that happening just a while ago, Shrimper has dropped back quite massively from his teammate there. The gap was around half a second the last time we looked, and it is now at 2.1 seconds. So Shrimper seems to be dropping back from his teammate, so he might have made a mistake there somewhere, which has dropped him there, which means now that he's out of DRS, his teammate UNRL Celtic Speed will want to pull away, or at least maintain the gap so he doesn't get back into DRS, and he can carry on to secure his position and win the race. And here we go. This is going through 200R down to Spoon Curve. Through he goes onto the Spoon exit. Looking to try and close his gap onto the Alphas in front. We are now looking at Davey going through 200R and circling back through the group and staying on Davey and moving straight to Daisy again. Should be doing the 33.8 on that lap. Brett hitting the pit lane finally on his hard tyres. Daisy coming across the line to do a 33.5, gaining 3/10 on the Alphas ahead. He's going to need to gain a lot more than that if he wants to catch them by the end of the race. Brett Pitts comes out on fresh softs, so you might have to watch out for him sitting some quick laps towards the later stages of this race. Back on board with Shrimper, going through Degner 2. He's been hovering around that 2-second gap to his teammate. Through 200R. Spoon curve for UNRL Celtic Speed. Exit of Spoon. He's in all the track. keeping his gap steady at 2 seconds. Controlling the race out front to perfection at the moment. Into the final corner. Avoiding the death curb here. You see the rear end dip a little bit there. Goes across the line, there's a 33.6. This thing that goes across the line, there's a 34 flat. So he's pulled away by 4/10 on that lap. Dacey doing a 33.9, so he's pulling 3/10 a lap on the racing point there on that particular lap. Strong pace by UNRL Celtic Speed out in front. Davey still in 5th. Sync Westy, amazingly, still out on those softs. They haven't blown up yet. He's been on them for 16 laps already. But we follow his car to the line and see his lap time of a 35.3. You can see that he is almost 2 seconds off the leaders per lap. Bob, being on much fresher softs, is looking to hunt him down and pass him relatively quickly. He will probably be on the back of that McLaren in the next couple of laps. Fuse Demon in the racing point, still broken wing on those hard tyres. Shrimper there. Still really low ERS in the single digits. UNRL Celtic Speed crosses the line to do a 32.9. Shrimper does a 33.6, so that's a huge gap of 7/10 pretty much gained on that lap for UNRL Celtic Speed. Shrimper again struggling to keep his ERS high enough to gain anything from using it, because as soon as you get too low, the ERS reaches its max deployment pretty quickly, as there you go. Brett sets the fastest lap of a 31.8, I believe is what that says on those softs. Pretty decent lap from him. If he can keep that pace up, he will definitely be finishing where he is currently. Though it's going to take quite a colossal mess up from him to drop back into the clutches of Davey behind Sid Westy. Now, as you can see, Bob is right on the back of him, as you would assume he would be on his much fresher soft tyres. He's going to want to pass this McLaren as quickly as possible, because the difference in pace will be huge at the moment. Through Degner 1. Through Degner 2. Very smooth driving there from the McLaren. And you'd expect that this is where he should struggle, really. I mean, he should struggle massively in the first sector, but he should struggle coming off at a hairpin, and it seems he hasn't, really, which is amazing considering he's been on those tyres for 18 laps. Which is just absolutely unheard of, really. You'd expect to get that sort of life on your first stint on the mediums. As we are going to the race director just to double check to see how long he has been on those tyres for. Yep, as you can see there. As you can see, Bob is making a move into the last corner, but he has gone deep. He has made a mistake and gone deep across the AstroTurf. He has slowed up as to not gain any advantage and avoid a penalty. And he'll be kicking himself for that, but luckily he does have enough time, and he, before the end of the race, with his fresh tyres, to catch back up and make another move on the McLaren, hopefully one that will stick the next time, and he will be moving up to 6th place if he does do that. Cycling back through from Celtic Speed to Shrimper to Dacey, back to Brett, Fuse having a nightmare of a race on those hard tyres, but still with that damage. Bob coming into the hairpin here. Just trucking along, trying to reach that McLaren as quickly as he can. Moving back on board with Dacey, who did a 33.3 that last lap. Into Degner 1. Degner 2. A bit wide on the exit, but that's fine. As long as you get the traction down properly. Into the hairpin. Westy doing a 35.9, and as we were following Daisy around, we did not catch the overtake of Bob on Westy there. But Bob made the move and he made it stick, and yeah, not much else to say there. He's just going to pull away from the McLaren and then maintain his 6th position, as it is very unlikely with the quite huge gap between him and his teammate Davey that he will catch him before the end of the race. Through Degner 2, Bob goes. And on board with Davey going through Spoon. And now into Fuse, who is going really deep into Degner 2, and looks like he's going to try and defend his position, but it doesn't work out. He doesn't have the grip. He doesn't have the grip on the front, downforce wise, as you can still see his wing is broke, and he does not have it from the mechanical grip of the tyres either, considering he is 2 compounds harder than the Red Bull. Following Westy here, as he's kind of all by himself in no man's land at the moment. Big gap between him and Bob, and a big gap between him and Fatal Defiance. As you can see, Fatal Defiance there just creeping into the shot. As Westy's finally coming to the pit lane on those softs that have done 20 laps and unfortunately gotten a puncture as well. So he will be dropping down to last in the field, unfortunately. He will most likely be there for the remainder of the race. On board with Shrimper. Something 33.3 on that lap. His teammate seems to have pulled about 6-7 tenths and held that gap there, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1, which we saw was briefly the red ball on the screen there of Fatal Defiance, as he's gone wide there as well, and that does not help him in his pursuit of these 2 cars ahead of him, though you'd have to say now that he's definitely lost the potential of grabbing those 2 positions as he went wide there. Mike V Legend in the Haas is absolutely harassing the Racing Point here on the exit of Spoon. Maybe he will use the slipstream to go straight down past him at 130R. But it seems the Racing Point just has the legs on him there. Maybe he'll go for a move into the final corner. Will he do it? They're side by side. Will he get the braking done perfectly and slow it down? Nope. But it did compromise the Racing Point's exit, so the Haas will most likely get the run and get the overtake done into turn 1. As we go into the race director to check Daisy's lap times to compare 33.2, lowish 33s for the last couple of laps, 33.3, high 33s, low 33 and a 34. So Shrimper not very consistent in these last couple of laps. As you can see, Daisy is a lot more consistent, maintaining his lowish 33 run. One with a high 33 for that lap. to say really at this point in the race. The top three are pretty much going to finish where they finish, unless someone gets a miraculous penalty, or if you know, one of them drops it at some point. But you would probably think at this point that no one's really going to take the risk to do so. So I think they're just going to settle into their positions that they are in and accept where they finish now. On board with Dacey, chasing down the ghost of Sink Westy, who is ghost because he is lapped, which is unfortunate for the McLaren, as Dacey gets really loose there on the exit of Spoon. Yeah. But luckily for him, he will get some free lap time on the cars ahead to make up for that, because he will get DRS off of the McLaren that is in front of him. And, as he is ghost, he doesn't have to worry about overtaking him, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 1. Which I don't think was Brett, as that was technically the last sector where Brett had that incident in the last corner there. I don't really know who that yellow flag for Sector 1 was. Well, we're going to have to guess it's Sink Weston, considering how far back he now is from that racing point. Sink Weston seems to be having a despite his longevity on those soft tyres, you know, he just lost too much time over a stint, so he's now in no man's land. As UNRL F1 Speed heads into Spoon for the very last time. He's controlled this race pretty much since the end of the soft stint, and he decided to pit early. He just seemed to have much more belief in his tyres. His softs when they were dead, as he seems to be running quite low on fuel, but you don't really know if that's because they're running really low or just below or slightly over, who knows. Anyway, it doesn't matter, as he comes across the line to win UNRL Season 8, UNRL F1 Season 8, Race 16, as Shrimper, his teammate, finishes second. Dacey finishes in third. Quite a lap there from Celtic Speed on the last lap to basically pull about 8/10 away from his teammate on that final lap. Dacey making good use of that DRS on that final lap, as Fatal Defiance sets the fastest lap of a 31.4, I believe, on that final lap, just to try and salvage something from a pretty disastrous race. Davey coming home in 5th, minding his own business, just relaxing, taking a nice Sunday drive, and the DRS is still quite low, but he kept out of trouble, kept himself to himself, ran his strategy in his race, avoided all the chaos at the start, and yeah, there you go, a nice solid 5th place for him. His teammate Bob finishes in 6th, Mike V Legend, after quite a chaotic race and an odd strategy of 2-stopping, despite not really having to, and then pitting afterwards. As we see Fuse Demon there go into absolute Narnia on the exit of 130R, and coming across to finish his nightmarish race in the gravel with a semi-spin to add on to it, and just a YOLO, why not, send it into the pit lane. I do not conform to your usual finishing practices. I will finish in the pit lane, he says. Right. And he finishes P8. Great race there, really, from IRL Celtic Speed. He just seemed to have a lot more control of his car, a lot more belief in the tyres throughout both stints, really, towards the end of his soft stint and the rest of his medium stint, mostly. There he is on the podium with his teammate there in 2nd, and Dacey in 3rd in the racing point. So congrats to him. Maybe he can follow it up next week. We will not know. But yes, as you can see, the race results there. And I want to thank you for watching this video, and we will see you next time in Mexico for our last round of the season. Take care, and we'll see you then.